Here on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports, we're bringing you the latest 49ers news and rumors. We go live every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, and we're also on the road to 36,000 subscribers. So help me out, help Chat Sports out, hit that big red button down below, or go to youtube.com/49erstv. Welcome into the 49ers Report. I am Chase Sr. Coming up on today's show, 5 players who could burst onto the scene and flourish this year as breakout candidates during the 2021 season. Want to kick it off with Javon Kinlaw because I think he is primed for a breakout season for the Niners this year. Originally drafted in the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft, 14th overall out of South Carolina. He was basically chosen to replace DeForest Buckner. Big shoes to fill, but in his rookie season, he was able to display and show a lot of potential as a rookie. Now, he was dealing with a knee injury that kind of lingered throughout the season. He did have that knee cleaned up in the offseason. He is primed and ready to go, and I think he's going to have a monster season in 2021 because of what you saw him do in 14 games for the Niners in 2020. 33 tackles, 4 quarterback hurries, 1.5 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. This is a guy who is strong as an ox. He's a physical specimen, and going into year 2, I think he's worked on his body a little bit, and he has the ability to completely take over games on the interior of this 49ers defensive line. 6'5", 319 pounds, so he can really control the line of scrimmage on that interior. He was somewhat raw coming out of South Carolina, so the bumps along the road throughout his rookie season were somewhat expected. I do expect him to add to his pass rush arsenal a little bit and be a little bit better in that area, but you're looking at a guy who has the talent as well as the work ethic to thrive and a loaded defensive line that will see Nick Bosa back and healthy coming off that torn ACL should definitely help him flourish here this upcoming season. So what do you think, Niner Empire? Will Javon Kinlaw be a breakout player in year 2 for the 49ers? Get into the comments. Let me know. Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Be sure to get your votes in down below. Look at how Javon Kinlaw showed up to OTAs 2 weeks ago. He is a bring your lunch pail to work guy, kind of like me here at Chat Sports. That's become my nickname. And my man just looks swole, huge, bulked up, and ready to just dominate. And when you show up to OTAs looking like that, bringing a lunch pail to work, hey, I think you are just bound to be a breakout candidate here in 2021. Let's pivot to Jalen Hurd. We've talked about him a lot here on the channel. He has polarizing ability and polarizing athletic traits, but his first 2 seasons cut short by injuries. It was the back injury during preseason back in 2019. Then it was the ACL last year in training camp that cost him his entire season. But Jalen Hurd this upcoming year has a golden opportunity right in front of him to compete for wide receiver 3 and also have a lot of snaps in Kyle Shanahan's offense. You look at his size and athleticism, they are so appealing, and that's what you saw on the field in his final year at Baylor. He was tremendous. 69 receptions, 946 yards, average yards per catch at 13.7. He also brought in 4 touchdowns. Really, for Jalen Hurd, if you're not impressed by the numbers, it is the eye test that just makes you say, wow. And it's certainly the athleticism, as I mentioned. He started his college career at Tennessee as a running back. Can you imagine trying to tackle a running back who's like 6'4", 6'5", 225 pounds? Now, he wasn't suited for running back. That's why he transitioned to wide receiver and ended up having a really solid career at Baylor. The athletic traits, though, pop for that reason because he does have that type of versatility. And when you saw him on the field during the 2019 preseason, there was a game against the Dallas Cowboys where he kind of caught a ball on a crossing route and just sized up a defender at the goal line and bulldozed him. And he can run a variety of routes. It's the crossing routes. It's the bubble screens to get the ball in his hands to make him make plays happen, and also he can run fade routes in the end zone as a big-bodied wide receiver because he has that size at 6'4", 6'5", which makes me believe that Jalen Hurd could be a real weapon for this 49ers offense this year. Jimmy Garoppolo, he can't wait to play with him. This is what he said last week during OTAs. Jay's come a long way. He really has in his route running, just developing his body and becoming a pro. I mean, the guy does it the right way. I'm dying to get him out there right now. I really am. He's such a physical freak. just the things that he can do in his route running with the ball in his hands, it's very impressive. Jimmy Garoppolo basically echoing everything that I had to say. You might as well make me an NFL scout. I mean, why not? I have that type of pinpoint player development ability. So could Jalen Hurd win Comeback Player of the Year? I think he could be in the running if he can stay healthy in a critical year 3 coming off those back and ACL injuries. Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Get your votes in the comment section and let me know if Jalen Hurd could win Comeback Player of the Year. If he does, man, he could be a huge component to this offense and one that they really need because Kyle Shanahan could really use a big-bodied jump ball wide receiver at his disposal. The 49ers report is made possible thanks to our friends at Newsbreak. Now, this morning, I met with the bosses and we talked about the 49ers report since I took over the channel back a couple weeks ago, and they're pleased with how the channel continues to grow, and a big thanks is to all of you for continuing to tune into the 49ers report by Chat Sports. But they made one thing clear. I need 10 Newsbreak app downloads right away using the link at the bottom of your screen or else. Now, I'm not sure what the what else means. That's why I need you guys to help me out and take care of the business for me, because I don't want to face the ramifications or the penalties for you not downloading the Newsbreak app. So using that link at the bottom of your screen right now, chatsports.com/49NB, it redirects you to the App Store, and on your iPhone or Android, download the Newsbreak app today to support us here at Chat Sports as well as the 49ers support. Here's some more incentives as to why you should download the Newsbreak app. It's one of the best and most used apps on my phone, and I have so many of them on my iPhone right now. On one single feed, you get your local news, weather and crime, your politics, pop culture and food, your sports content, and oh yeah, 49ers report videos by Chat Sports also live on the Newsbreak app as well. I will put this link in the description as well as the comments. Let's continue to look at these top 5 breakout candidates for the 2021 season. And I can't wait to see what Brandon Aiyuk does this year in year 2 in Kyle Shanahan's offense. Played only 12 games as a rookie coming out of Arizona State last year, but still was able to put together a really impressive rookie season that saw him bring in 748 receiving yards through the air. Made several splash plays along the way and really displayed his potential as a big play wide receiver, but also a guy who can really make plays happen with yards after the catch. I think this year coming up in 2021, Brandon Aiyuk has 1,000-yard potential. That's why I have him as a top 5 breakout candidate for this upcoming season. You look at what he did last year. I talk about the 748 receiving yards. For a rookie to bring in 60 balls in 12 games shows you that he has onus of the offense. He understands what his role is in it. And I think as he moves forward in Kyle Shanahan's complex scheme, he is only going to continue to master this offense as well. Also had 5 touchdowns, and yeah, the big one, him leaping that Philadelphia Eagles defender, Marcus Epps, on his way to the touchdown during primetime on, I believe, Sunday Night Football. That's the image on your screen right now. I also want you to remember and go back to the 2020 NFL Draft when Kyle Shanahan was so elated that the 49ers were able to select Brandon Aiyuk. He was pumped up because he realized the potential and the ability that Brandon Aiyuk has. I think he is a prime breakout candidate for this upcoming season, and I fully expect him, if he's healthy, to surpass the 1,000 yards receiving mark. So I want to ask you this. Are you with me? Do you think Aiyuk does surpass the 1,000-yard mark? Type D for definitely, type Q for not quite. Let me know how you're feeling about Brandon Aiyuk going into year 2 in this 49ers offense. Let's shift over to the defensive side of the football again. Tarvarius Moore, safety, defensive back, a little bit of a hybrid guy, 3rd-round pick in the 2018 draft. 49ers fell in love with him because at his pro day at Southern Miss ran a 4.32 40-yard dash, and I don't think it was juiced at all. Now, he's played 16 games in each of his 3 seasons so far, so he's been consistently available for this 49ers defense under Robert Saleh, this upcoming season under DeMeco Ryans, and there have been some good moments for Tarvarius Moore. There have also been some bad moments as well. I don't think the 49ers are fully confident in him because late in the process in NFL free agency, they did bring back Jaquiski Tartt. If they thought that Moore was going to be able to step in Tartt's shoes and be the starter at safety right from the jump, I don't think they would have re-signed Tartt, but they did. Moore, talk about his athletic skill set. Speed and size, very appealing at 6'2", 200 pounds, on top of the fact that he runs a 4.3 40-yard dash. And I mentioned some of those good moments. Intercepted Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl back 2 years ago when you thought that was going to be the Super Bowl clinching victory and play for the Niners. We know how that ended. The bad, take some bad angles when approaching tackles as well. Also, there are some lapses in coverage. It is a make or break year for Tarvarius Moore. That's why I have him on this list. If he plays really well, I think the 49ers re-sign him. If he doesn't, I think they let him go, which would not be good because they did spend a premium draft asset on him. Here's another thing, going back to some of the bad and negative qualities of Tarvarius Moore, When opposing quarterbacks were targeting him in coverage, they had a near perfect passer rating at 152.5. That's not good. I think Moore feels the pressure. I think DeMeco Ryans wants to try to allow him to flourish in this defense. They're going to do everything that they can for him to play well. So do you think he is going to start in 2021? Let me know. Type S for starter, type B for backup. Get your votes in the comment section. I think this is going to be one of the more intriguing battles throughout training camp. My final breakout candidate for this upcoming season, Trey Sermon. Third-round pick out of Ohio State this past NFL draft. I thought it was somewhat of a surprise that the 49ers targeted him in the third round, considering that they are deep and really talented in the backfield, but I think they selected Trey Sermon because they realized we can't pass on this guy because it's excellent value, and he could probably be a plug-and-play starter from day one. That's where I kind of stand. I think Trey Sermon has the ability and the potential to be a starter from day one and unseat Raheem Mostert as the RB1 on this roster. And I'm not ruling out him starting right from the get-go. Why is that? Last year, he was excellent for Ohio State. And really, he didn't start the season for the Buckeyes in the backfield. But then he won that battle over time. Why is that? Because of the numbers that you're seeing on your screen right here. He was excellent. 116 carries, 870 yards. His average yards per carry, 7.5. That's about as elite as it gets. And in some of the biggest games for the Buckeyes last year, Trey Sermon rose to the occasion on the national stage, and looked like one of the best backs across the entire country. Now, I talk about the 49ers running back room being crowded, very talented as well, but I think the door is open for Trey Sermon to climb up the depth chart, impress the coaching staff, and become the starter. Raheem Mostert is currently RB1. Jeff Wilson is going to be out 4 to 6 months because of that knee injury that he just got operated on last week or 2 weeks ago. Trey Sermon currently RB number 3. And as you look at the other running backs on this roster, JaMycal Hasty, Elijah Mitchell, Wayne Gallman, who the 49ers brought in free agency, why the 49ers are high on Trey Sermon and why I think he could be the starter is for this reason, right? They drafted him in the third round for a reason. They see his potential. They see starting ability. Otherwise, they wouldn't have drafted him in the third round, and they see that he could be a better player than some of the older options in this running back room. So do you think Trey Sermon can become the starter in week 1? Are you with me? Type G for good point, Chase Sr. You're the man. Type C for you're crazy. If you want to let me know that I'm crazy, it's all good, but get your votes in down below.